Hi all, it's Vanessa Love and this is my channel about the mental health field and related topics. Okay, so this is just like an odds and ends video. Okay, so it's really interesting sometimes. So like there's a bunch of like information that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of come fast at about it. And again, this is just odds and ends. So, okay, so the Multiplan video. People get very upset by me talking about that stuff. I don't understand because I'm just like, okay, historically, corporations in the United States as well as in other countries like Mexico have done things that have been very against EPA regulations, against like human life, against a whole lot of things. And so I am just not one of the people who is always for corporations. I don't think that they should regulate themselves because every time they are able to regulate themselves, they end up taking people's lives. Like that, bottom line, that's it. And like the insurance companies have been sued for multiple things related to that in the past. So like I don't know why anyone, and I'm going to use crude language here, I don't know why anyone is a corporate whore. Like, I really don't. Like, I do not understand how anyone is, like, doing all that they can to support billion-dollar companies who, like, basically, like, get that money from denying people medical care, you know? And so, like, yes, I am a part of this system. Yes, like, accept insurance, so I have to sometimes bow down to the fucking insurance companies and be like, oh, please pay me. Oh, I should be getting more. Like, yeah, like, I do have to do that occasionally, and it pisses me off. Like, it sucks to be like, I have no repercussion, I have no protection as a provider. Like, the consumer has all the protection, and I try to do everything to not have any of my clients involved in the shit that, like, insurance does to me. And, like, I've really tried to be very nice about a whole lot of things so that, like, I don't upset my clients, and I'm still trying to fight against the shit that insurance companies do. And they've been doing a whole lot lately, and they are going to continue to do a whole lot lately, for now and forever. Because, like, they are the ones that have all the power. Like, it sucks. I, as a provider, have nothing, if they want to continue to be complete and utter fucking assholes and unregulated. So, like, there is no place for me to go to talk with anyone above them to get them to do something that is well within my legal right to ask them to do. That's fun, isn't it? I had to get one of my clients to, like, write on my behalf to go get, like, a insurance company to add my New York location. They've just not done it for the last 4 months, And then the company is like, well, you could always complain to us. I'm sorry. Are you kidding me? You want me to complain to the company that has not let me add my New York location? For what? What are you gonna do within each other? Like, just be like, hey guys, there seems to be a problem. Like, shouldn't you have known about this problem? Do you think I want to call every week and be like, hey, guys, please, desperately, could you just add my New York location? I'd really like to see my patients with this particular insurance company in New York so that I don't have to make sure that I'm always in Connecticut whenever I accept that, like, their appointments. Because as soon as I am not in Connecticut, luckily they want, like, early morning and late night appointments, so I can get on a train and go home. But also, I want to enjoy my New York office. It's very nice. Anyway, so I don't understand corporate whores. Like, I just don't get it, especially for billion-dollar companies who are clearly like screwing people over. Okay, so Multiplan. Oh my God. Okay, so Multiplan has been sued for antitrust laws. There was a hospital who was like, you know what, we actually don't like you. And also, Multiplan has claimed that they are a $1 billion company. So, yeah, that's super interesting that they, as a middle person that who does not need to exist within the insurance company, has made $1 billion off of being the middleman that is unnecessary in the middle of all of this shit. I had a very interesting exchange with someone. I deleted the exchange because I'm done. You know what? Like, there's so many people who are trying to, like, be smarter than me, and it's fine. But then, like, once I'm like, okay, so you are again calling me a scammer for doing normal and necessary practices, like billing, in my own company. So how do you suggest that I bill? Well, I think you should do it the customary way. Yes, so that's what I've been doing. Is there anything different that you would like me to do that would make it imply that I'm actually following the laws and rules and regulations of the insurance companies, not the laws, but like, you know, it's a supposed to be a mutual understanding, but also it's a very abusive practice just by them. Yeah, there's only a couple of laws that they have to follow, and lately they haven't been following them. I was just told by one of my friends that Cigna will not will not process the payment that is required to their therapist for like 90 days or something, which is the law is it's 30 days that you have to do that. So I'm just like, okay, so that's illegal. What the fuck? That's fun. So it's always interesting when people are like, you're such a scammer. Okay. What makes you say that? Because doctors do emergency heart surgery and ambulances cost a lot. Okay, so I don't work in a hospital. I don't do any emergency interactions at all whatsoever. This is not part of my of my practice whatsoever. I mostly deal with people who are depressed, anxious, have a couple of anger issues, low sex drive, and what's the other one? Like people who have been through the adoption and foster care system, as well as women who have autism and ADHD. That's been coming up a lot. There's also a new one, and I forgot which one it is. I have also treated a lot of people who have been through terrible national issues, like 9/11 and like the Oslo, Norway, terrorist attack. So that's becoming more of a thing. I've had experience with it. All right. Oh, and also people who are not born in the United States. Lots of clients that I'm like, majority of my clients have not been we're not born in the United States currently. So, fun. Okay. So, that's all who I treat. I don't treat any emergencies. I'm not an ambulance driver. I don't do anything with ambulances. In fact, I do, again, try to make sure that anything that could be a barrier for my clients getting to their sessions is not an actual issue. For example, if any of my clients in Connecticut had issue getting to their appointment, and I say Connecticut because New York, being in the city, you just walk here, or you take the train here. There's no it's not a physical barrier or a financial barrier at all in whatsoever. My clients just walk around the block, come in, that's it. So Connecticut is car dependent. So things like, can my clients get to my sessions? When my main office was in Stamford, there were a couple of programs at that time that allowed you to call them and set up an appointment with a volunteer. There was this there is the Fish Church. So the Fish Church, they had a volunteer taxi service. So if you are disabled, if you are elderly, they would pick you up and bring you to your appointments, to the grocery store. Like, they would make sure that you were able to get out, do things without that barrier. That is a free service. Most of my clients are on Medicaid. So Medicaid in Connecticut is called Husky. Husky does allow you to call them and request transportation to your appointments. If you are not like severely physically disabled, like you like they will usually not give like send a car out to you or do medical transportation. If you have an oxygen tank, they ask about that specifically. If you have any like walking cane walker, any of that stuff, they will send someone out to you. Most of my clients are not that. If they are that, we just end up doing virtual sessions because that's easier and better than like up and about and all that stuff, because that can be, tiring. And then can you imagine doing all of that and then having to like go to your therapy and then like leave? Oh my gosh, some people just don't have enough energy for that, and that's perfectly fine. So then usually they will give you a free bus pass, and you call once a month. You say, hey, I'm going to this therapist, I go once a week, and they will send out bus passes for that month. Okay, so like that is a free bus pass. That's a bus pass to the session, and it's a bus pass like back from the session. Okay, if you have to take a train, they'll give you, it's the same thing. They will give you a pass to make sure that you can get onto the train, get to your whatever destination, and then take the bus over. So like, I don't understand how anyone is saying that I'm causing a lot of people to be in medical debt, because I am not. I am not. If any of my clients in New York ever had to go through that, I would be doing the same thing. I'd be researching. I'd be like, okay, can we use this company? Can we use this? Does Fidelis have anything that would make it easier for you to get to your appointments? Who do they work with? What happens? How do we do this? I'd be setting that all up, because I don't want my clients to be I don't want that to be a barrier. I don't want my clients to be stressed about getting to the appointment, about getting home from the appointment, none of that. So this whole I'm a scammer and I'm making ambulance drivers, I don't know, so expensive or whatever, that's not even, that's I understand I'm in the medical field, that's not my field. That, none of that is anything that I'm a part of. And it's really weird to be compared to that, because it's okay, so hospital bills, okay. There's a lot of different ways to deal with hospital bills. You can negotiate with them if they're unwilling to negotiate, which most Connecticut ones are. There are ways to get to their whatever charity branch of the company that you can ask. The other thing is that in Connecticut, you can get emergency services covered by the state. You just have to apply. That's it. That's all that, if you're hey, can't afford it, the Medicare or Medicaid in Connecticut will cover that. There is a very specific thing for that. I know that it's just one of those things, and again, I don't understand how anyone can be such a corporate whore to be oh, Multiplan is a fine company. I've only heard about them from you, but since you're criticizing them, they must be you must be the issue, not them. And it's okay, yeah, okay, you just did a whole lot of mental gymnastics there that just doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you not hearing me out about anything? Oh, right, because I'm a woman, so I must be stupid. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, so 15 years in this field, nothing. I have no experience whatsoever. Yeah, okay, sure. Great. Really glad that you can insert your stupid fucking opinion into anything. That's nice. I appreciate that about you. Maybe next time you just should get a punch to the mouth. That sounds like a good idea. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't blame these people. They're probably gross. I don't know. I just imagine that they're just continually online, whatever that phrase is, that they're just never offline. They're never AFK. I love being AFK. If you don't know, away from keyboard. I love being AFK. I like, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. Like turning that cell phone off, taking my watch off, and just listening to birds or whatever bullshit. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. Anyway. So, Multiplan was sued for antitrust. They also boasted that they are a $1 billion company. And there was something else. Yeah, they've been in a lot of trouble, actually, for all of the things that they've been doing. So, really appreciate that I'm being called the scammer one. Like, I've never made over, I've never made... Sorry. I have not. I imagine that if I was a scammer, that I'd probably be making six figures. I don't. It's not anything. You know what would make me make six figures? Not taking insurance. That would be the thing. If I never took insurance, I'd be so much better. It really, and that's why a lot of people just don't. And also because they know their worth. I'm being paid below what I'm really, should be, because, I just want to help people. It's not, if it was about the money, then, yeah, I probably would be scamming. But, I mean, also, what a projection of themselves, that, or either scamming or I wouldn't take insurance, because insurance is, they're so fucking, terrible. I don't know how much I can just express how terrible they are. Some are great to work with, and then after a couple of years, they have no fucking idea what they're doing. And also, because they are so big, most of them, have no idea what they're really supposed to be doing, which is hilarious to actually watch, but when you're in the middle of it, it is so fucking, disturbing and frustrating, and, it is not fun at all. And, again, I will tell you that you have to watch your data with them. They do not know who they are working with. They do not know everyone who works in their company. They do not know everyone's history. I don't know if they do background checks. If they do, there's still a possibility that someone can steal your identity from their information, and they have been breached multiple times, multiple places. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing, and they're not tech companies, okay? They don't know how to do any of the things. And, before I get to any platform, I am asking all sorts of questions about their IT and security, because, it is imperative that my clients are not vulnerable to the issues that they have. How can anyone really, make sure that all of the servers that have your information on them are secure? Especially if they're not a tech company and they're boasting about $1 billion. It's one of those things where it's if anything's gonna happen, it's probably gonna be a breach, and it's probably gonna be a really bad one. Terrible one. So yeah, Multiplan has not been great with a lot of things, and they're just not great. And I don't know why they exist. I think someone just said, hey, why don't you create this company? And someone was like, I mean, yeah, I could create more paperwork for a lot more people. That sounds great. Let's do that. Who works for them? What's the background check process? What background checks do they do? Do they report all their breaches? They don't have to. That's not a legal requirement, actually. So yeah, always fun to try and find. It's so interesting. Yeah. So there have been people who have scammed insurance companies. And there are okay. So there was one story that came out of, I believe it was Chicago, and they did so, and I mean, so they did a lot of things that I was like, how did you even do that? Things they found out people's I think what they did was that like they had like their like friends like get information from their friends and their friends and their friends, so like they had information and they were billing for people who weren't actually like coming in for services. And so like they were getting like $1 million from that. It was some like agency, fake agency. It was just people making profit. And I think they were the one that had the like disabled people come in and like paint a room or something and then called it art therapy, which I'm like, God, that that can be a part of art therapy, but that's not the entirety of art therapy. Like if you're trying to be like, oh, we're trying to work on social skills and like, you know, basic like dexterity and things like that, like you might be able to get away with that once. Like I don't recommend that you try and do that. Like you probably want to like be like, oh hey, we painted a mural, because that's cool, that's wonderful, you know. And you can like get everyone together for that. The art therapy program that I was a part of with like the VA, they would do like gardening too as a part of, I think, of art therapy, and like that was very much like those guys. Oh my God, they fucking loved it. Like and all of like the people, like, okay, so you have to understand in like these big like hospitals, they do like have like little sections where like they have like, oh, it was so cute, where they have like flower beds and stuff, and like those guys would go for it so much, and like, oh, they were so great. And then it's like, you know, here's the program like garden that like people can see, and like it's good to have a presence, it's those type of things. But also like I think gardening week or gardening club was, or sessions group, gardening group, there we go, sorry, my brain, was like only once or twice a week. Once it was like spring or something, it was like spring through summer, like it was at the time when people would be tending to gardens. I don't think that they grew any food. That just doesn't sound like something that like the VA would allow, but like those guys really liked that stuff. They liked feeling productive. So like that's definitely one of those things, but I can also see that being taken advantage of by people who do not give a shit. And there's plenty of people who don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned the books. So there's like a lot of documentaries about like how corporations have chosen profit over people. Things like Trust Us, We're the Experts, Toxic Sludge is Good for You, anything with like the 3 Mile Island, there's like a Crow's Nest Island or something like that. A lot with the mining companies, a lot with the oil drilling companies. You know, I mean, even what is it? It wasn't Event Horizon. It was like the whatever Horizon like thing that happened in the middle of like the Gulf. You know, that whole issue that like started the whole like oil in the Gulf of Mexico thing. That was oh my God, it was a terrible tragedy. All of that, like that started with profits over people. And like it is one of those things where it's just, it is sad. It's sad. Like you know, no one should be treated like that. And like there's all of these things where it's just like companies continually choose profits over people. And like sometimes like the EPA is wonderful, and sometimes the EPA doesn't do anything, or what they do is not good enough. If you've ever watched, it's Roger and Me, right? Yeah. Like, Roger and Me, like, even though, like, there's a whole lot with documentaries that's just not, and especially with Michael Moore, but, like, Roger and Me, they talk about, someone threw away a pen, and, because one of the companies in town was sued because of a toxic waste, oh my gosh, not destruction, whatever that is. Oh my God, the word is just gone. It's gone. I don't know the word. I'm so sorry. Yeah, like a toxic waste disaster. Because it was leaked. There we go. Leaked. That my brain. Yeah, that's how it works. So because of like a toxic waste leak, this company was sued by the EPA. They were given like, a huge fine, I'm sure. Then that company started saying we weren't the only ones. It was other people. And so then they went to other companies and, like they had to be like, well, you could have contributed to the toxic waste by throwing out pens. So they were suing other people in town, in a very small town, because, and other companies, right? Because they did not want to take the full responsibility for the toxic leak that definitely happened from that company. The fucked upness, like it just like shit rolls downhill. Like it's amazing and crazy, and like I like, how do you like I, how do you sue your neighbor? Like how, like in a small town, how do you sue your neighbor? Like how, I did what did I how, like you all have to deal with each other. EPA doesn't give a shit. Like, oh my god. Can you imagine the corporate bullshit that they had to go through to like make that okay? Hold on, let's make sure that like, we're not the only one paying the fee in this city. Sometimes I'd like to be just in corporate world, just to be like, you guys really decide that? You really made like that followed a logic for you? Like that's how that went? That's interesting. Anyway, I better go. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later.